What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite dating coach, Elliot Scott, and as you can see by the title below, we're going to discuss overthinking, why you're doing it, where it's stemming from, obviously the root cause, how to be aware of it, and things like that. I think this is going to be the most important thing. I can make a 12-part series on this, but I think the root, finding out where it's coming from and being aware of it and how to stop it is probably the most important thing for a lot of you. I have a lot of clients who are coming to me to, discussing, well, how do I stop overthinking? How do I stop getting in my way? How do I stop doing this because it's sabotaging my relationships? Don't worry, I got you, okay? So, jumping into this, I first want to explain this through the lens of emotional unavailability. I always say this is the female version of emotional unavailability because a majority of women out there, they want relationships if they have a nice guy in front of them who's courting them and doing all the things he's supposed to do. It's like, why not move into a relationship? However, from her experience, there's a lot of duds out there. There's a lot of guys who are stepping up to the plate, or they strike out. Like, there's just a bunch of BS out there. You know, I always tell people, women, you got to kiss a lot of toads before you meet a prince. There's a lot of toads out there. So I can see where she's second guessing things and she's feeling discouraged. For women, what it looks like is afraid of being vulnerable, and because of this, she needs validation for that vulnerability. Men, on the other hand, what it looks like is, I'm going to overpromise, I'm going to love bomb her, I'm going to move very fast, I'm going to say all these things and not want to take any responsibility. You know how it is. You guys are moving forward for 4, 5, 6 weeks, then he gets in his head, freaks out, and pulls away. And he second-guessed everything. And so, again, it's all about self-sabotaging in a way. So a man self-sabotages by over-promising a lot of things and then realizing, oh shit, I can't deliver on this. I don't even know what I'm looking for. I don't even know if I'm ready, right? And then he backs off. A woman, she has no problem giving these things to a man. She has no problem being consistent, communicating needs, wants, desires, conflict resolution, moving forward. However, for women who are emotionally unavailable or self-sabotaging or overthinking, they're also insecure in some way, or they have had bad experiences in the past, and because of this, again, they self-sabotage. They have this mindset, this limited belief, and it keeps them from moving forward. With that being said, I want you to look at it from the lens of evolutionary psychology and the ego. And I don't mean ego the way we look at it, like someone's egotistical, and I don't even mean the way Freud really looks at it. Id, ego, superego, not even that. I want you to think of ego. Now, if you don't know my philosophies, I always say the job of the organism, of every species, is to survive and find a mate, survive and reproduce, okay? And to do that, you got to find advantages, meaning you got to be more attractive than the person, you got to have more resources, you got to be healthier, you got to be in better situations or circumstances, you got to eliminate threats and risk and whatever, okay? You got to have more quality options, ways to attract these quality options. These are things that are going to get you those two goals. Your ego is the mindset you have that says, hey, when your ego's happy, your ego's, getting fulfilled, it's saying, hey, don't worry, don't sweat it. You got this. This is easy. This is no problem. Look at all, things are going well. You're moving towards your goal. That's when your ego's happy, is when it's all fulfilled. You feel good. You have everything in place, and you get, you have a good journey towards the destination, good experiences. Your ego, on the other hand, is feeling a little under the weather. It's a little negative, a little pessimistic when those things aren't aligned. Well, maybe I don't feel attractive. I don't have good experiences with men. I don't have a good upbringing. I never felt love. I never had a healthy relationship. I don't have my shit together. I have financial problems. I have, whatever it is, okay? When this happens, because your job as an organism is to survive and reproduce, this is the signal, right, of Mother Nature, whatever you want to call it. I know it sounds foo-foo, evolutionary psychology. It's a signal in some way telling your brain, hey, there's a threat to our ultimate goal. It's like GPS. Something's off. And it's the GPS literally telling you, turn left, turn left, turn left, turn left, like turn around, U-turn, to try to get back on track, okay? Now, when it comes to women and needing and overthinking, it's due to a lack of self-trust, self-fulfillment. It's a lack of positive wins under their belt, right? I always say we are very evidence-based. The way the brain works, the ego works, is it goes through the journey of life, right? Surviving, reproducing, the experiences, the ups and downs, the valleys and mountains, all the shit you got to go through to get there. And it takes all this in and is formulating a game plan. It's formulating a game plan on the way. And when you have good experiences, it's like, okay, cool. When you have negative experiences, it's trying to adapt and go around the roadblocks, U-turns, alternate routes, and things like that. But you can only do that so much before it's like, okay, something's wrong. Something's up. And when a woman doesn't have good experiences in dating, or a lack of self-trust or self-belief or anything like that, well, think of it like going on a bumpy road towards a destination. There's bumpy roads, there's potholes and things like that. You have to find a way to smooth that out. That's what your validation is. That's a woman wanting validation. That's a woman wanting constant reassurance. That's a woman wanting a man to explain himself, communicate where he's at, his location, his wants, where this is going, being very transparent. It smooths the road out. The problem with this is when you're talking to a secure man, or a man who wants, not once, but a man who I don't want to say has his shit together because it makes it sound like you don't, but a secure attachment type of man, okay? Especially in the early stages of dating, like 1, 2, 3 months, where it's not like, it's different if you're with someone for 6 years and you're married and shit like that. You'll make those sacrifices. You'll take those hits because you're a couple or long term, and you see the benefits of the long-term couple. But in the very beginning stages, or even early relationships, a lot of people, show all these signs, and I don't want to call them red flags. It's human, it's human to have these things, but they show this like over jealousy, this needing constant validation, this constant reassurance, this constant questioning. And when you're talking to a healthy man, and his job is to survive and reproduce, he's giving out so much more resources. Resources, in my definition, are time, energy, effort, money, whatever, something to sustain or to invest in someone, courtship, things like that, to progress forward, to let her know that or to let a woman know that he's interested in her, okay? And when he's having to invest more than, I would say, the average person, and it's never black and white like this, by the way. Like, I'm not saying, everyone should have a 50% rate on validation seeking. No, it's like this. But still, there's a reason we're attracted, think of it like this. There's a reason we're attracted to confidence. From an evolutionary perspective, confidence, dating someone with confidence, there has to be a reason why they're confident. Oh, they got their shit together. Oh, they got all that. Oh, remember all that stuff I listed? Why people are insecure? My upbringing. I don't have positive experiences. My financial situation isn't good. I've never had a serious relationship. I had abusive parents. Again, not trying to make light on any, just saying the truth. But when you're finding someone confident, there's a reason why they're confident. Oh, he has his shit together. He has the resources. He has good dating experiences. He's had long-term relationships. He knows how to communicate. He has a bunch of options. You want to be with someone like that because that will take you, and listen, our whole goal in dating is to get from here to here, all right, or here to here, whatever. It's to get to point A to point B as smooth as possible. When you find somebody who has their shit together and has a chip on their shoulder and says some things with their chest, has their chest out, head up, and just looking forward, smiling, you want to be a part of that. That is the reason we are attracted to those things. Everyone says, I'm attracted to a confident man, or confidence is sexy. That's why. So when a man looks at a woman and she's beautiful, and she walks, with a pep in her step, and she has this feminine aura, and she has this look in her eyes, and she's mysterious, and she doesn't need a man's validation. To a man, that says a lot of men are probably after her. She's not coming from a place of scarcity. She's coming from a place of abundance. She can choose. She has her pick of the litter. She's a high value woman. Men are drawn towards that. So when a woman shows a lack of confidence, right, a lack of self-esteem, meaning she's quiet, she covers herself up a lot, maybe like really, really baggy clothing, she's constantly questioning, validating, needing reassurance, always picking fights. And I don't mean that there's nothing wrong with fights, but like making, big fights out of like small little things. A man looks at that and he's talking to the ego, and he's thinking, what's going on here? Why is she like this? Why is she like this? And then all the switches start going off. The switches start to flip, and it tells the man, oh, something's up. Something's wrong. And I always tell my clients, attraction is not a choice. Attraction is created by the switches the switches in your head, and whether they're getting flipped or not. Our brain is very, very, very good, very keen on these signs, okay? Like it's scanning a million things a day in terms of attraction, things you're not even aware of subconsciously. It's scanning these things, right? It has been designed to do this over the hundreds of thousands of years. It has been designed to do this, to scan and go after these things. All animals, right? So when it sees these things and they're getting switched on, I'm attracted to you. Oh, she's confident. Oh, she's beautiful. Oh, her symmetry. Oh, her chemistry. Oh, her fucking hair, her eyes, the mysteriousness, whatever it is. Like they're all getting flipped. But on the opposite end, when you're doing these I don't want to say negative traits, but these unattractive traits, the brain's flipping them. And the brain's doing this to avoid risk. When our job as an organism, see, I'm going all over the place now, it's not even the title of the video anymore, but the job of the organism is to survive and reproduce. To do that, we have to invest our resources, limited resources, back then especially, ancestral times, they're limited resources. We have to invest them wisely. We want to invest them in a high value woman, not someone who's uncertain of themselves. That's just too risky. Right? So to get to point A to point B, the best way of doing it is knowing what point B is, like okay, I want to get here, and then avoiding risk along the way. That's why women, when you need constant validation, that's your ego saying, hey, you need a risk assessment, right? Like you need to be constantly looking at these things. Like, so ask this guy these questions, ask these guys these questions, ask this guy his whereabouts, ask this guy if he's serious, ask this guy if this, ask this guy that. That's why your brain's doing it, right? It's risk assessment. Because again, we're trying to avoid risk. But at the same time, it's pushing the man away because he's looking at it and he's trying to assess risk, and he's saying, well, a high value, confident woman who's very sought after and abundant and not in a scarce mindset wouldn't be doing those things. And so that's where you see this contrast, okay? So that's why it's important to kind of know these things, and that's where it's coming from. Now, how to fix this. Here's the hard, unfortunate thing, because I know a lot of people watching this are like, I want to fix this now with the current guy I'm in, which you can, I'm not saying you can't, but it's action in the moment. It's evidence in the moment. And what I mean by this is I always say life happens for you, not to you. I always tell my clients that, this is an opportunity for personal growth. The situation you're in, the things you're dealing with right now, you have to nip them in the ass. I'm not saying turn your mind off and don't question a guy ever. That's not what I'm saying. But these are opportunities for growth, okay? You have to understand the reason you are is the way you are. And I'm not saying it's not valid. If you have a horrible upbringing, never had serious relationships, had guys play you, you're going to have a complex. That's not your fault. It's human nature. That's it's psychology. It's how we are. However, it doesn't change the fact that you are becoming your own worst enemy now. I'm not saying, so now it's you versus guys. Now it's you and guys versus you, or your mindset and your limited beliefs and guys versus you. You're not going to win that. You're not going to win that. You have to nip this shit in the ass and start questioning these things. Is it me or is it them? Do I have a right to feel this way? Am I making something out of nothing? You have to start asking yourself, literally lay back. And I used to do this all the time with this type of shit. That's why I know what I know. Like, I used to just sit back and just not meditate, but self-actualize, self-realize, and just keep on asking why, and going down the rabbit hole. I'm telling you, it will make the world of difference if you do this consistently. Just close your eyes and do it. It doesn't have to be for an hour. It can be 5 minutes. It can be 10 minutes. It can be 30 minutes. Whatever. Just do it. And if you do it consistently, you'll find out a lot more about yourself. But you have to understand the reason you're doing what you're doing is because of a limited belief. And it's the ego saying, hey, or the GPS ego, like we're off track, get back on track. And to do that, it needs validation. It needs to smooth out that road. It's trying to go around the roadblock. It's trying to go around the potholes. But by doing that, it's going off track. Instead, you got to smooth out the potholes. And of course, the way the brain does that, I'm not saying it's the right way, but like I said, you're looking for validation. You're looking for approval. You're looking for reassurance. And that costs us resources. The resources are coming from the man. I don't want to have to always reassure this woman. I don't want to always have to call her every effing day. I don't want to have to keep up this intensity that's not even a realistic standard to live by. He doesn't want to do that stuff. So as long as you're sitting there, ladies, you're analyzing everything. You're questioning why, yourself, right? You're questioning the why. You're going down the rabbit hole, and you realize the only way to change this is to nip it in the ass right now. And look, again, it's evidence-based. Your brain takes in things, experiences, how you handle the situations, and it adapts a game plan along the way. So what you're doing right now is based, I guess is the best way to put it. What you're doing right now is based off right now and everything in the past. If you want to change that, you have to start right now and adapt for the future. Okay? So that being said, if you want a deeper dive on this and you want to work with me, links down below. It would probably be a lot better if you talk to me about your specific situation that we can deep dive in. I would love doing that. I love this type of stuff. I love you all. Links down below if you want to work with me. Love you all. Take care and peace.